city. And as an American citizen, I don't think we should be bombing countries. I don't think we should be using our tax dollars to destroy other countries, specifically at the behest of Israel. You know, he's also too afraid of, pissing off Zionist groups. It's probably one of his biggest weaknesses, I'll be honest. I love the guy, but I do think he's very, very afraid. And I think I saw the full quote. The full quote's actually longer than this, where he says, I've also said that while I may be a young mayor, I'm old enough to remember the devastating consequences of our country pursuing a war with the intent of regime change. And that very same reason. It's not the best possible answer in that situation. Cause like the whole point is like, the reason why the American government talks about the ruthlessness or the cruelty of the Iranian government is so that they can justify their unlimited cruelty as we are, bombing the Capitol, right? But as the fucking mayor of New York is not going to say like, long live the Ayatollah. I mourn his loss. I am a Shia myself. Like, what the fuck do you think? It's just like people get very mad at politicians when they do this kind of like, speaking out of both sides of their mouth on these issues. AOC always does that too. I think AOC has more power and more room to say whatever the fuck she wants. But like, if your expectation is that, Zohran Mamdani is going to communicate on this stuff in the way that I do, I mean, you're fucking delusional. You have to remember, like, even back on October 8th, October 9th, I was very open about like who was ultimately responsible for this cruelty that we saw, this violence that we saw. But like, it was still very clearly, it was very clearly the design of Israel. But no one was fucking gonna say that. Some people said it at the time and they got yelled at, right? Like, there's a level, it's a delicate balance that you have to maintain when you talk about these issues, unfortunately, especially in the United States of America. You got to speak to the audience in a way that they understand, right? The expectation that, especially given how large your platform is, the expectation that like all of these people are going to automatically understand 80 fucking years of history is ridiculous. I certainly had to engage in this kind of, maneuvering over and over again. I did it for fucking 2 years, right? I still do to a certain degree. It's just how it is. It's just how you gotta pay the piper, is what I mean. Yes, Emhud. I mean, the mayor of New York City can't speak like he's on Discord all the time. Exactly. Hey, I'm new here. Why did you say that in your video that America will be over due to the Iranian war? I did not. I think you might have misunderstood what I was saying. I said America's force projection capabilities have been severely diminished as a direct consequence of the last 6 days, where they've shown that they are not a reliable ally, that they are incapable of defending the trillions of dollars of investment that the Gulf nations put into having American bases, and that they will always put Israel first. And that if, at most, if they were to continue with a ground invasion into Iran, that this would lead to the complete collapse of American empire in the same way that the USSR's invasion of Afghanistan did to the USSR. Like a full-blown military occupation of Iran, I think, would devastate the United States of America. Like, it would destroy it. What should AOC and Zohran be saying instead of their both side statements? I mean, I think this is fine. Like, I think you guys are being ridiculous when you say this is like AOCIA or Zohran Mamdani.
Topic questions as well, Jason.
That's not why the USSR dissolved. Come on, man. You think the Afghan fucking occupation didn't play a role in the ginormous economic hit that the USSR took? Really? It played no role whatsoever? What are we doing? No, they were forcibly dissolved illegally, and that's it. They were doing fine beforehand. They were totally fine. No issues there. It was fucking Pizza Hut and Pepsi.
Mr. Mayor, do you think Iran is better off without the Ayatollah?
You know, I've said before that
I think the Republicans have a much better way of communicating on shit like this, though, I will say. They're just simple. They're straightforward. They cut to the chase, even if they're lying, right? They'll just be like, I'm an isolationist. Why should I care? It's that simple. And a lot of Americans actually understand that, where they're like, it leans into American selfishness. I will admit, like, isolationism as a propaganda tactic is infinitely better than like taking a critical anti-imperialist stance. Because, like, you ask a Republican before Donald Trump invaded Iran or started blowing up Iran, this question, they'd be like, why do I care? The fuck? I'm an American. I think it's a real shame that my cities look like they've been fucking hollowed out because wealthy benefactors and corporations chose to go ship their manufacturing facilities to China. And now you're telling me I have to spend all of our tax dollars instead of fixing the state of disrepair? I got to spend all my tax dollars bombing Iran? What the fuck are we doing? Get out of here. Why are you asking me about the Ayatollah? I'm the mayor of New York City. Ask me about the fucking snow plowing operation that we put together. Do they ask the Ayatollah about how I'm dealing with public transit in my city? No? Then what the fuck am I supposed to answer that question for? That's what I would say. If I'm the mayor of New York and I'm like a little bit more aggressive in my messaging, that's what I would say.
Iranian government has engaged in systematic repression of its own people, even killing thousands of Iranians who were seeking to express the most basic forms of dissent earlier this year. It is a brutal government. And I've also said that while I may be a young mayor, I am old enough to remember the devastating consequences of our country pursuing a war with the intent of regime change.
Marxists, when discussing the USSR, become idealists. It was brought into existence by the genius of Lenin and was dissolved by the hypnotic allure of Western pizza and booze of Gorby. Okay, that's like not wrong, though. That is kind of true. I mean, it's reductive, but it's not necessarily wrong. Sorry.
In that very same region not that many years ago.
And off-topic question.
עירותים בירושלים.
Is this new? I don't know. Suppressed news is not very reliable. He's best to just avoid these sort of geopolitical traps than he can. At best, nothing comes out of it. At worst, they get a horrible clip. He stands to gain nothing. I agree. But you also can't say, I'm the mayor of New York. I don't have an opinion on this. Like, because then that kind of makes you look silly. You know what I mean? Because everyone has a fucking opinion on this. And the reality is, like, low-key, the Chomsky method here, not all of it, not the best friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, but like the method of saying, I'm an American citizen and I can only control things within my realm of power and my sphere of influence. And as an American citizen, like, I want to stop the pain. And I think I think that bombs flying over Tehran is not actually going to help anybody. It's just going to kill people. And I want that to stop is probably the most effective way of talking about it. You know? Do you see what I mean? I'm an American citizen. I'm an American taxpayer. I'm a mayor of the United States of America in one of the best cities in the world, in the best city in the United States of America, New York City. And as an American citizen, I don't think we should be bombing countries. I don't think we should be using our tax dollars to destroy other countries, specifically at the behest of Israel. You know? He's also too afraid of, pissing off Zionist groups It's probably one of his biggest weaknesses, I'll be honest. I love the guy, but I do think he's very, very afraid. And it's ironic because, like, partially as a direct consequence of his advocacy and his bold, unapologetic defense of the Palestinians, the conversation has shifted dramatically in favor of pro-Palestinian advocacy and anti-American imperialism. Like, that's how you became the fucking mayor. You didn't become the mayor because you sucked up to Zionist groups or tried to, like, recenter liberal Zionists in your advocacy. You literally got there because you were like, nah, I'm not going to fucking Israel. Get out of here. It was his greatest moment. And now you got Gavin Newsom saying Israel's an apartheid state. You can expand on this conversation. You can take pot shots at Israel. 100%. 100% you could take pot shots at Israel, especially right now as the mayor of New York. Yeah, it'll bring some controversy your way, but who gives a fuck? That kind of controversy is good. It's good to have enemies, okay? It's good to tell people who your enemies are. Do not forget this, okay? If the line of demarcation is drawn by your enemies, you say, good, great. And Zionists being considered an ideological opposition to your movement, to your cause, is wonderful, especially right now. What, bro? Interview ... What do you mean?